What's up everyone, this is FP6. It's been a while. If you have not seen my most recent video talking about kind of my new life update and job update, Katie and I are moved back to Washington and I have started a new job as a full-time music teacher, and so as I mentioned in my previous video, I will not be able to upload nearly as frequent. I'm hoping for maybe one video a week, and I'm definitely playing Pogo a lot more casually, but I still want to bring you all some content. And in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a team that uses a Vullaby in Great League. I was fortunate enough to actually be able to hatch a hundo Vullaby, and I was able to get enough XL candies to almost max this thing out, but I do have it best buddied, and so we're gonna run Polytoad and then double birds in the back of Vullaby and Mandibuzz and kind of just get into these battles here and kind of talk through what's going on here. I know what you're all thinking, should you build a Vullaby? And I'm gonna say absolutely not. I personally don't think it performs nearly as well as Mandibuzz does, just based on stat product and the fact that you can really only use Air Slash as the only viable fast move on Vullaby, whereas Mandibuzz you have a little bit more flexibility with Snarl for faster energy generation. But the idea of this team is that Polytoad is a really solid response to G-Fisk and Bastiodon, and then the two birds in the back kind of want to avoid that. So sometimes I'm going to be safe swapping the Mandibuzz here. Sometimes based on what the lead is, I think I might end up swapping the Vullaby as well. Please excuse the very scenic backdrop here as well. Katie and I are actually staying with my parents right now while we try to find housing because we moved from Colorado extremely quickly, and so right now luckily my parents do live where we moved to, so for now we got this cool backdrop going on. But yeah, so we have a Vullaby against this Diggersby here. The cool thing about Vullaby is that you do have access to Brave Bird, which is a much better flying type charge move compared to Aerial Ace on Mandibuzz, which as we all know, Aerial Ace is unfortunately a very bad move. I'm just going to go for double foul plays here because I don't want to debuff myself. But I'm in a pretty solid position here. I'm just going to save my shield for my Polytoad, because technically all three Pokemon on this team can hang with Diggersby no problem. Really all Diggersby can do is throw neutral fire punches at the flyers. And at this point, it's pretty much over. Earthquake Polytoad does have a decent matchup with Azumarill. It's slightly in Polytoad's favor in the 1 and 2 shield, I believe. Even if the Azu is XL, if the Azu is running Play Rough, it's a little bit tougher of a matchup, and I do the sack swap on the Mandibuzz just to flex a little bit. Definitely was not needed because I was going to be able to get to this Earthquake and then another Weather Ball regardless, but it's always nice to catch a move when you can. Good game. Definitely favorable alignment for me in that game. Toxicroak lead. So this is okay for me. The mud shots are hitting for super effective, but the counter damage definitely outpaces. I'm also on my parents' Wi-Fi here, and I have noticed that my performance in game is a lot worse because of the internet speed here. Back at our place back in Colorado, we had speeds up to like 800 megabits a second for download, and that really translated into not too much lag, but I am noticing that there's lots of games where I'm starting like a turn late, or I'm just totally missing fast moves because of the different internet speed here. This matchup, when you're running Snarl on Mandibuzz, is actually fairly neutral because most Bastiodons are going to try to farm you all the way down, and that's totally fine if that happens because I have Polytoad to kind of safely absorb this damage. Now, if I was running like a Swampert with that ground typing, I would fully resist all of Bastiodon's moves. So that is one consideration you could make with this team, is maybe run a Swampert instead of Politoed. And unfortunately, I tried to go for a snipe with my Politoed there, but my opponent also wanted to get an energy advantage with their Azumarill. And at this point in time, it is not looking good. They still have a Bastiodon with like 100 energy and an Azumarill, and my poor little Vullaby is not going to have any play against this very thick Azu. And unfortunately, I'm not able to get to this Earthquake here. If I was able to get to this second Earthquake, it might have been a different story, but this is not looking great. Have to bring out the Vullaby here. I know I'm going to get hit by a move, and I still have Mana Buzz to clear my debuff at least, but I know that at any point in time, they're going to swap the Bastiodon. And I thought they were going to swap it right there and like go for the Stone Edge combo play, but I completely misread my opponent, and this game was for sure lost. Good game, tough team to come back from there. Politoed into Nidoqueen, very favorable for me. This is definitely where I want to see the Nidoqueen, but I definitely have play with the other two mons as well. So out comes Medicham, and this is where having the air slash damage from Vullaby is going to be kind of nice here. But you can see how much these counters are chunking. Vullaby really does not feel nearly as tanky as Mana Buzz, and it's very noticeable in a lot of these matchups where you're getting hit for neutral damage. It just chunks a little bit more than you think it should, and because of the air slash fast move, I'm not really able to generate energy too quickly, so I actually have to go into a shield deficit here to maintain alignment, and they swap in the Nidoqueen, and I don't get my move off. Very smart play by the opponent. I thought they were going to try to farm me down, but they actually ended up throwing their energy. So now I just need to get to these weather balls to take out this Nidoqueen. They let that go through. Gonna get hit by Poison Fang here, but luckily I will be able to clear that debuff with my Mana Buzz. I Mud Shot down, and then honestly whatever comes in I need to swap. It is their own Mana Buzz, and they are also running Snarl. I have a good amount of energy saved on my Politoed, so I need to keep that in mind. They still have their Medicham as well that is very low health, so I'm anticipating that they're going to attempt a sack swap here relatively soon. On a 60-second switch timer, it takes about 4 charge moves plus a little bit of time in between for that switch clock to come back up. You can kind of use that as a reference. They are up a shield, and so I'm curious as to where they're going to spend that shield. I know that they're going to try a catch on their Medicham at any given point in time here. So we're just throwing aerial aces at each other. So far I've done a decent job at denying the fast moves here, but on when you both have the same fast move turn duration, there is a good amount of randomness involved. Even though you can attempt the fast move denial, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. There goes the last shield. And I was really tempted to swap my Politoed right there and go for the combo play, but I was afraid that my opponent might try the same tactic. So I'm farming, and I think I'm 2 Mud Shots away from Weather Ball. I survive with a sliver of health, and I'm able to get this Weather Ball off to take out the Medicham there. Really nicely played by my opponent, and we almost timed out there too. That was a really close game. So this is a fairly neutral lead, but because I have technically 2 slightly better responses to Medicham in the back, I'm just going to make this aggressive swap into Mana Buzz. They are staying in, which is interesting. So potentially they might have a Sableye in the back. But I would like to win switch advantage here if possible. People that run Medicham in the lead need some sort of solid response to Charmers, so I'm always thinking that there could be a Steel type in the back, which is why I threw Foul Play here instead of Aerial Ace in case they try to catch. It actually is a Sableye in the back, and they bring out the Sableye right now to get a really aggressive farm. So I'm able to chip that away with a decent amount of damage. At this point in time, I'm thinking that it could be a Bastiodon in the back because that's a fairly common line, a fairly common trio. Typically, we see Bastiodon in the lead though, but potentially also it could be a G-Fisk. I shield up that move because it was very unlikely that they would bait there since I only had one shield remaining. So shield up the return. They shield that. So now I'm really curious as to what they have in the back. This is going to be a return, and they probably swap. No, they're going to allow me to farm them down. It is a Jellicent in the back. Medicham double ghost. Definitely a surprise for me, and I'm really glad that I had alignment where I did. I catch the bubble beam here. Obviously, me having my 2 dark types against their 2 ghost types was very favorable for me, but that's definitely a team comp that I did not anticipate them having a Jellicent in the back. Frostlass in the lead is actually not as favorable as you might think for Politoed. They very rarely bait that first move, so it's a fairly safe shield on the Shadow Ball. I saw in the Season 9 updates, and maybe I'll do a video covering this, maybe not, but it looks like Weather Ball is getting a damage reduction. It's getting a damage nerf by 5, it looked like, and I feel like that's gonna be fairly significant. There's a lot of meta Pokemon that utilize Weather Ball. Pelipper, Politoed, Abomasnow, Alolan Ninetales, lots of things that use Weather Ball. Kanto Ninetales as well. So we kind of have to see how that shapes up. Man, this is so bad for me. They have an Azu, and I really need to get off another Earthquake here. So I'm able to get off this Earthquake. I'm really hoping that I can put this low enough where one of my other Pokemon can handle it. And thank goodness this Azu is farming up so much energy that I'm able to chip it with a Weather Ball, and that's all I need. From here, I can either Air Slash or even aggressively Snarl this down. Thank goodness. We'll see what my opponent has in the back. I'm going to get hit with a big move here, but that's okay. They led Frostlass. It is a Vigoroth in the back. We're going straight for the Brave Bird. Let's go, Vullaby. Little bird, and it gets shielded. Oh man, that is unfortunate. But I believe I'm only going to need 2 foul plays to land on this Vigoroth to take it out. We're both hitting each other for neutral damage. It would have been nice if that Brave Bird would have landed. Stab Brave Bird from a tanky Pokemon on kind of a neutralish tanky Pokemon. Would have been nice to see how much damage that did, but that's all good. Down goes the Vigoroth, and now comes the Azu, and we're able to snarl it down. Good game. I'm sitting kind of in the 3300s right now. I actually don't know if I'm going to end up on the leaderboard. I just really do not have hardly any time to play this game right now, and the season is ending very quickly. Work has just been really busy with orientations and meetings and rehearsals and all that good stuff. My opponent has a Greedent, and fortunately for me, I did know the moveset of this silly looking squirrel going in here. Bullet Seed as the fast move, and then Body Slam and Crunch as the charge moves typically. And so I know that my Mandibuzz and Vullaby are going to have decent play against this. They're choosing to stay in. And I know that I lose CMP here, but for some reason I overfarmed by 1 Snarl anyway. It's kind of a bad play. I definitely should have thrown before then, but they let it go. Okay, out comes Azu. This is fine by me. I need to get my Politoed aligned with this, and then I have no idea what they could have in the back here. But I do kind of need to keep my Politoed healthy, so the shield here makes sense. Again, when you're full health like that, it's pretty rare that they're going to bait. This is an Azu double normal team. Very cool. I do not have a Greedent built. We get some really nice lag here. Look at this lag. Look at this quality esports game lag. So get hit by Body Slam here. Even though I resist the lick damage, these Body Slams really add up. And even the resisted lick is like still significantly chipping away at my Vullaby. It's like so risky to throw Brave Bird here, because but I anticipate them swapping. There's the swap. I'm gonna throw Brave Bird here because I now have the flexibility to swap out to clear my debuff. And I'm gonna swap my Politoed here. I probably should have over farmed more, but they shield that up anyways. I have a very healthy Lickitung that I still have to deal with. That is not good. So I am farming. Really not farming that much. I don't want to get hit by a play rough here because then I'm in body slam range. Down goes the Azu. I'm able to get this weather ball off. That's really good for me. I'm just hoping that I can potentially put it into foul play range. And the timer is coming up as well. So I'm going to throw this weather ball to stall the clock and then probably swap and throw. Actually, the time ran up right there, but I was going to try to go for a swap and potentially throw that foul play to stall the clock out some more. Jellicent in the lead. I have 2 better responses, so I swap, and this is an absolute nightmare. This wiggly pink marshmallow comes out and ruins my bird's day, unfortunately. This matchup is so bad when you're running Snarl because they're never going to shield, and they're going to charm you all the way down and have so much energy coming out of this. And then it is really difficult to try to mud shot something down with Politoed. That is not a comfortable experience for anyone. Like, even though this Wigglytuff is in the red health here, it's going to do so much charm damage. I have to tank this play rough and just hope that my Vullaby can sweep the back line, but it is not looking good. It is not looking promising right now. I'm just going to insta swap and see what they have, and it's a Skarmory. That is... Honestly, that's pretty much a good game, but I think I stay in here for a little bit and play it out a little bit just to see what I can do here. No Air Slash goes through. That's good for me. I know that I'm going to lose CMP in this matchup. My Air Slash is resisted. Their Air Slash is hitting for neutral. So this is not great. And we both get to our charge moves at the same pacing. No Air Slash goes through again. I'm trying to stall the clock so I can eventually go back into my Politoed and go for a combo play, because I know that I have some energy stored. And my opponent read me like a book. Really nice play by my opponent. Catches a resisted weather ball, and that is for sure good game at that point. Very well played to them. If I would have stayed in with the Mana Buzz, it still would have, or stayed in with the Vullaby, it still would have been tough, because we don't know. Well, I guess we'll see it here. Did they have Ice Beam? No, they had Bubble Beam, so I would have at least been able to get off a foul play. It would have been much closer if I would have stayed in, but that was just really, really nice anticipation from my opponent. I think we have one more battle here. Another Frostlass lead. And again, you would assume that this is like really comfortable for the Politoed because you're getting hit with resisted Powder Snows, and they have to go for their heavier move of Shadow Ball. But Frostlass is a beast. Frostlass is so good. And this is such an awkward health range where 2 Weather Balls does not KO. So honestly, if I was in the Frostlass, yeah, they played this so smart. They no-shielded both of those knowing that they would survive. And now I'm forced to expend all this energy. But I'm fully committed to double shielding and farming down and winning the lead pretty handily here with energy stored. Out comes Toxicroak. I build up the Earthquake energy to try to burn their last shield, but they let this go through. Nice play. I'm going to throw another Weather Ball and see if they want to sack it or if they're going to shield. They do end up shielding, so this puts it in perfect farm down range for my Vullaby. I'm able to load up on some energy here. And if I can Brave Bird something where it doesn't hit for resisted damage, that would be pretty cool. Oh, man, but it's a G-Fisk. And so I actually go for Brave Bird anyways, and my thought process was here, Brave Bird hits for like slightly more damage than Foul Play, and I thought I was only going to get off 1 charge move, but in hindsight that was a pretty dumb play. They can't really mud shot me down anyway, so I guess this still worked out. In hindsight, Brave Bird in 1 Foul Play is slightly more damage than 2 Foul Plays, but that was my reasoning there. This is not great. I get hit by an Earthquake and it takes me out. That's really not good. I just need to land a foul play on the G-Fisk, and I knew that they were going to try a sack swap, so I was able to snarl them down, and I'm going to take this out. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I'll try to do about one video a week. But we'll see how GBL goes in Season 9, and I'll catch you all later.